if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me tell you about it. It's free, which is amazing. And there are these really cool creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will even distribute your podcast for you, so it's easy to be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get podcasts. And you get to make money with no minimum listenership, which is really cool. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started right away. Yoga teachers, mindfulness leaders, and energy workers, are you ready to stop side hustling and start making an income doing what you love? Welcome to the Marketing Off the Mat podcast. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we'll dive into conversations with successful creatives in wellness, business, marketing, and more to uncover practical methods to take you from A to B and have some fun along the way. My name is Jessica Cross, and I'm so excited to be here with you. Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. It's Jessica, and this is Marketing Off the Mat. I'm so excited that you're here today. So we're going to be talking about all things email marketing today. Why you should have an email list, and if you don't, or maybe if you do, and how to get started in building one. So if you remember, in recent memory, we had a major outage in social media, in Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp land. It was down for multiple hours, and it's not the only outage that we've had in a while. And I think it reinvigorated a lot of people in the reminder that we definitely need to be building our email list in addition to social media. So if you follow me on Instagram, it's at jessicacross.co. I am a huge fan of Instagram. If you haven't picked up on that already, I'm kind of a nerd about it. I love it. I feel like it's a great way to connect. I've made partnerships and friends and even clients through Instagram, and I absolutely love it. And then Facebook, the groups, the events, there's just so much richness there that can add to your business toolkit. But when we had that outage, it was mind-boggling how much time that I personally spend, and I know many of us spend on social media when it comes to our businesses. So I thought it'd be really important to talk about today about why you need an email list, which I'm kind of alluding to, and how we can get started in building it. So our email list is so important because it's truly the only thing that we own. We don't own our social media presence. We don't own any of that content. Once it's up on Instagram, it can literally be gone in a day or less. So when we're working on building our following, our clients, our community online, we really want to make sure that the email list is a part of the offerings. It's got to be a part of what we're putting out there. We want to make sure that we're giving people opportunity to get on our email list to get some extra love, some freebies, and we want people to be qualified leads, quote unquote. So when we think of somebody just, hopping on our email list, we want to think about somebody who's hopping on our email list that would actually want to be a client of ours. Now, could that be whatever you're offering, one-to-one yoga sessions, if you're doing a course, a membership, etc. It's great to have a big list, but if it's not an engaged list, if it's not actually qualified leads or people that would potentially buy from you, it's really meaningless. So we want to make sure that we're starting to build our email list, and we want to make sure we're building it with intentional, right fit clients. So this email list. So let's say you don't have one and you're like, Jess, I don't even know where to start with an email list. It sounds scary. It's not, I promise it's much easier than it sounds. If you have a website, great. We'll start by putting a pop-up or a lead capture in the footer of your website. That's a great place to just get started. That's probably something you can hop off this podcast and do pretty quickly if you're tech savvy. Now, when we're talking about the qualified leads, one of the best ways that you can start qualifying your leads is to put a relevant freebie out there. So freebie sometimes is called a lead mag or a lead gen or a opt-in. It's something that people get in exchange for giving you their email. They get a free download, a video, access to a training, something that's highly valuable gives them some quick wins, and is also something that's very relevant to your business. So let's say I wouldn't, if it's, me being a business coach in the wellness industry, I wouldn't be putting out a free yoga class or how to make 5 healthy smoothies from one grocery trip. Like that wouldn't make sense for me because that's not what I offer. Now, if I want to think about what type of freebie do I want to offer, I want to think about something that you're listening really need. And maybe that's how to start your email list. Maybe I should make a freebie about that. I want to think about something that you could grab from my website super quickly, download it, implement it right away. So quick wins are super important. So right now I have a couple of freebies up there on my website that I think will be valuable to you is how to get going on Instagram and how to start a podcast. I get a lot of questions about that. So I have those things up there as freebies. Maybe I'm going to make an email list one too. The reason they're so highly specialized is A, I want it to be something that you can use. And then B, I want to make sure that people that are coming to my website and getting on my email list are people that might want to work with me. It's just that simple. So when you're thinking of starting with a freebie to begin to qualify leads on your email list, think about what your people need. What would you need a previous version of you in your previous versions, seasons of your life? Is there something that you could create to offer to your clients that would be really valuable? And they're like, heck yes, I want this in my inbox right away. So start thinking about that. Another way that we can start thinking about building our email list is collaborations. If you're working with, or you haven't worked with, but maybe you're thinking about working with somebody similar to your niche, you could partner on a giveaway together. You could each give away something from your business. Maybe it's a 30-minute session, a product, something that's valuable for people to put their email list or email address into your list in order to be considered for in a raffle. And then you would share the leads and any costs associated. If you're creating some sort of prize pack or something like that, you split the cost and you split the leads. And that's another great way to get qualified leads on your email list. So there's some quick tips that you can start to implement right away. Is let's get a pop-up, let's get a email capture on your website. Let's start thinking about a freebie that's very relevant, quick win oriented, and maybe some collaborations that you could do with similar audiences or with influencers or teachers or something to have a similar audience rather. So now if you're saying, well, I don't even have a website, what am I supposed to do? Like, how do I even get started? Don't fear. Like there are ways that you can start capturing emails without even having a website. So if you're on Instagram, for instance, you might see folks using, and I use this too. This is not sponsored, by the way, but I use Linktree as a aggregate of all of the pertinent links that I want to put out to my Instagram audience right now. So you can, if you have a free plan or a pro plan with Linktree rather, you can add a link capture or an email capture link into your Linktree. That would be one way. You could also create a super simple landing page. Let's say you're on MailChimp or you're using the free MailChimp plan. If you've not checked that out, it's a really great place to start. You could create a landing page and put that into your links. That's another great way. And this could also expand to how's your freebie. They could be sent to file directly after they put their email in. And that could be another way without having to have a website just yet. If you're teaching in person, and this is not in a studio environment, so I want to be very clear there. If you're teaching, let's say at a park, or you're teaching in a space that you've rented, or you're a special guest, let's say you're teaching at a corporate class, or I sometimes teach at a really popular hotel downtown where it's just a free offering that they offer to their hotel guests in the community. I could bring my plain and simple clipboard with a sheet of paper. Says, want to get on my email list. It's surprising in person when you're teaching, when you've built that connection and you're outside of a studio environment, how many people want to stay connected with you. So at minimum, start telling people about your Instagram and point them to that link for the email capture. But if you want, you can definitely tell them how to get your freebie, or perhaps how to get on your email list, or bring that sheet of paper. So that's another way that if you're not sure exactly how to get started without having a big web presence, there's ways around it. So, and then once you start building that email list, let's start thinking about how we want to communicate. If they've jumped on your email list, let's send them a welcome email. Let's say, hey, like, this is who I am. This is what you can expect. And then start sharing some content, continue to give them some quick wins and how to stay connected with you. So we can get into the post on your list situation in later podcasts, but start thinking about that. That's the ultimate goal, is we start creating this relationship. They start to expect when they're going to hear from you. Is it once a week, a couple of times a month? You know, maybe if you're offering a course, there's a little bit more of a lead up, and then you start building this relationship. People start looking forward to hearing from you. And it's such a beautiful thing. So this is such an important topic. I'm very passionate about it as well. And I will say it's something that I'm working on too. So I don't have it completely figured out. In fact, it is a lot of work. So hold yourself with some kindness. If you're like, man, I don't even know how to start or when I would start building my email list, it's totally okay. If you want to create the opt-in on your website, or start thinking about a freebie and a landing page or sheet of paper, that's a great place to start. So start somewhere. Let's start thinking about building that email list presence so we can have the very one thing that we own in our client list online is this email list. So I hope you found that helpful. Shoot me a DM or an email, DM at jessicacross.co, and email is hello@jessicacross.co. If you have any questions about this, I'd love to chat about it, and I would love to help. So send me a note and get started on collecting those emails, y'all. It's really important. So I'll catch you on the next episode. Take care. Thanks for listening to the Marketing Off the Mat podcast. I love hanging with you as we figure this thing out together. Do you have an idea or something to share with me? Send me a DM on Instagram at jessicacross.co and let me know what's on your mind. I'd be so grateful if you shared this with someone who could use this episode. And if you get a chance, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Catch you on the next episode. See ya.